We're not pushing any negative emotion with positive thoughts. So we don't even entertain having another thought while we're feeling negative. And so we don't process emotion by replacing them. You want to let the emotion go through your body. You allow them and understand them because they're tools, they're messages. They allow you to connect to yourself. So you're not going to try to override the sadness with the positive thought, because what you're doing is you're just delaying the sadness and you're also compounding it. Remember when I talked about anger? What you're doing with sadness is you are giving it all the seats of the house, and then there's no room for all of the other emotions because you're just sad. So when you're dealing an emotion like this or compounding it, it doesn't disappear. It just sits in your body. And then it becomes a pattern. Now, for everything that doesn't work out right, you go to sadness because that's what is habiting your system. But if you processed it, your body would recognize it as a guest. Like, oh yeah, sadness was here the other day, but it's not here now because it wasn't here to stay. It was here for a message and then it left. But if you're sitting with the sadness because you're letting it compound, you're ignoring it, it's going to be banging on your window and get bigger and bigger and bigger, take over your life, and you're going to be living in this pattern of sadness. This is why people sit in anxiety and it becomes their home. It becomes where they go to when things don't work out. On a regular basis, just to be, they're already anxious. They're naturally anxious because they've gotten to a pattern of just letting that be there. I heard this illustration recently that I thought was so amazing, and I want to always save this for the rest of my life, so I know that you're going to love it. Think of your mind, of your brain, as a house full of different rooms. And each of these rooms host an emotion. So you could have happiness, you could have joy, you could have exhilaration, disappointment, grief, dread, sadness, inevitability. I've created inevitability to be an emotion, but I bet you can feel inevitable if you really tap into your body. So think about this house with all these different emotions, right? And you could find yourself one day in the grief room. If you are inside the grief room, this is where most people think, I don't have control over this. But because it's a room, you can walk out of it. You don't go in the room to stay in the room. You can walk out of the room. You can go in joy room. You can go in sufficiency room. You can go in contentment room. You get to decide how long you stay in each room. And when you walk into a new room, you get to move yourself from room to room. That's your power. You're not captive and a prisoner in the rooms. This is your home that has all these rooms: insecurity, shame, guilt, wisdom, and you get to pick where you're going to be. Now, sometimes you may need to linger in one room, but just know you don't have to stay in it. You don't have to live in it. I just did this exercise in my community when we talked about building this financially confident woman. Who you're becoming was the title of the training. And we talked about the fact that in your past, there are events that have happened, and what you translate those events to be have created your emotional home. This place where you go to often. It's a group of different emotions. Sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 1. Most times it's 3. But you really want to identify what the translation of your past has created. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because resilience in this case will allow you to recognize, this is where I've been, this is where I want to go, and I'm going to start inching my way out of that old emotional home that's not serving me to this new one, and I'm capable of that. I can move. That's your power. You could do all of this with a smile because you're being powerful through the process. So life could throw at you so many lemons, and you can make lemonade or you can make tequila. You decide. You know what I mean? And that's your power. So when we talk about life balance, it's knowing we always have 2 sides of the same coin. Let's welcome those 2 sides and not prefer one over the other.